Well, here we are. Barney's World is here, at least the first 5 episodes, so I thought I'd finally dive in and see what the new show has to offer. As we know, each episode is 11 minutes long, which is a little bit like watching a Season 10 episode but without Riff. 60% of you just cheered and the other 40% were more mwah. Anyway, The Floor is Grape Jelly is the first and most discussed episode due to it being released on YouTube early. This episode turns the kids' Floor is Lava game into a real, magical experience and serves to teach David through play about how good helping others feels. I can't confirm this, of course, but there's several instances where Barney's audio sounds like pickup lines. In voice acting, a pickup line is a line that was recorded after the original session, and not always by the original actor. I think it's most obvious between episodes 1 and 2 when Barney says, "Hey, friends." I've always liked the Imagination Adventure episodes. An Adventure in Make-Believe is my favorite episode of Barney and Friends, so this one does it for me, albeit on a much smaller scale because of the runtime. I Lovey You, interesting title to say the least, follows a pretend sleepover in the playground. Barney magically makes it nighttime to enhance the game, which is definitely giving good day, good night. When David's glowing action figure runs out of juice, he's not so sure he can handle the dark, so Barney takes him aside to work it out. This is not a hot take, but I agree with the side of the fandom that really enjoys these slower, more emotionally in-depth moments when Barney talks it over with another character. It does feel closer to the original sense of care and understanding that Barney has always had, but I appreciate the addendum of Barney saying he'll stay around even if the character doesn't feel like talking, which I feel is important. Barney also straight up asks David if he wants him to make it light again, giving him that option without complaint, simply to make him feel listened to and safe. Though they reach a compromise, I'm glad they modeled this kind of experience. After getting spooked by the Bop Billy and Baby Bop, Barney helps David calm himself down with what he calls Barney breaths, spinning a purple pinwheel in the process. I know this concept has gotten ragged on a bit, but I don't mind it. It's a simple and easy way to take yourself out of the moment and calm down, something I do think a lot of kids could use. Baby Bop and Billy, straight off the heels of yet another furry convention, spook poor David again with their howling. Barney employs yet another helpful technique and asks David to ground himself where he is by listening for all the calming, unique nighttime sounds he can hear. Mel has a good line in here, sarcastically asking if he can hear the gentle call of a taxi, which, I can't lie, did make me laugh. In the next scene, Barney himself looks to be scared of shadows lurking on the hill. I can see this bothering some folks, as Barney's not really supposed to be genuinely scared, but I tend to interpret these things as Barney modeling a situation for the kids to latch onto and learn from. David immediately uses what he's learned to comfort Barney, and there's really no better way to teach than by example. I can't really know their intent if Barney really is scared, but this way seems to make the most sense to me, knowing everything else Barney can do, magic or not. It's a lot for 11 minutes, but since the flow is so linear and adequately repetitive, the episode doesn't feel as disjointed as others. Mel's greatest treasure follows the kids as they make crafts, with Mel making a treasure chest for her prized possession, a photo of her and her friends. Barney appears and trips over the mess, which invokes the war flashback that is Season 1's Playing It Safe. Mel doesn't want to clean yet, despite Barney's suggestion, so the gang takes off. After a long hiatus, Mr. Boyd returns to his job as the groundskeeper of the playground. He goes by just his first name, Grady, nowadays, but I think it's worth it to have an iconic character back. He thoughtfully takes Mel's treasure chest with him to keep it safe. When the gang gets back, of course the chest is gone. Barney offers to help her find it, trips again, and asks if she's ready to clean up. She's not. The stubbornness is definitely realistic for someone Mel's age, and I do appreciate what they're going for by having her come to realize for herself, with some Barney magic to show how big the mess may really feel, that it's important to take care of shared spaces. I think it was a good idea to have Mel straight up acknowledge that the whole process would have been easier if she'd taken the time to clean up first. The new cleanup song is featured in this episode, and I like the extra lyrics to differentiate it from the millions of recordings of this song I'm sure there are. It's a little disjointed, but the ending is solid and wraps it up nicely. One Ripe Tomato is the 4th episode and follows Vivi's exploits of trying to figure out what to do with this objectively very nice tomato while trying to attain the highest honor of getting her drawing up on the fridge. I'm sure this will start to change a bit once the little dinos get the inevitable character-centric episode, but for now, Billy and Baby Bop do have some genuinely funny moments as the comic relief, like being museum guards for Vivi's drawing. Secret Service dinos were definitely not on my expected list for this series. Since everyone helps with gardening, naturally, each of the kids has an idea of what to do with it. Mel wants to make pico de gallo with it, and David wants to replant it for its seeds in a very sustainable move so that his ma can have tomatoes for her salad. The sharing song is this episode's song, and I really enjoy the harmonies in it, and David on Barney's tail because that's just too wholesome. After everyone comes to a compromise, the gang enjoys their special combo pizza, and Vivi finishes her drawing for Nona. My biggest qualm with this episode is the timing. This episode seems to have fared the worst, as a lot happens at once and then ends abruptly. There was also a fairly unfortunate animation error in the song, but otherwise I enjoyed it. Barney's Big Race is the 5th episode, and they must have been saving the best for last because this one's my favorite. Mel's dad, Luis, is working on an old race car, and this inspires Mel and the kids to design their own dream cars out of cardboard boxes. I like how the cars really exemplify who the kids are as people, and I mean, it's hard not to love David's stuffed animal transit van. Barney uses his imaginative magic to make the cars real, and Baby Bop and Billy join in for a race. Mel, being Mel, wants to win, and nearly does before Vivi pulls ahead. Naturally, this frustrates Mel, but she gives it another go. Unfortunately for her, she and Billy crash, causing David to cross the finish line first. Barney helps Mel work through the emotions again by reminding her of the good things, like making the car and having fun with her friends. I feel like on the 3rd race, you'd expect Mel to finally win, but she still doesn't. It's a good subversion of expectations. Mel also doesn't pretend it doesn't bother her. It does, but she's able to be genuinely happy for Baby Bop on her win at the same time. The best parts of the series being animated are on full display here. Everything is super bright and colorful, and I love the animation at the end. The lesson is a lot more concise and achieves its goal of making sure everyone feels their feelings, but still makes the right choice to be kind to others. Every character gets a chance to have a moment for them in this episode, and I'm glad to see that. I definitely hope we get more episodes like this one. I could go into the differences between this series and the original, but I think it's better to judge them on their own merits. Barney and Friends will always be the amazing original and the blueprint, and it's kind of hard to compare that to an animated retelling. As long as the spirit of Barney is in there somewhere, I'm happy to follow the series as it grows. As always, if you're looking to learn more, don't hesitate to check out my friends at Barney Wiki and Barney History fans. Thanks for watching!